Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have set number 76097. This is the Lex Luthor Mech Takedown, containing 406 pieces, retailing for $39.99, and containing 5 minifigures. This set was released in 2018, and, you know, it was a Lex Luthor Mech. And I don't have any interest in picking up this Lex Luthor Mech until I found it for $7. So, you know, keep that in mind throughout the review. But I did build this up. Just, you know, I figured might as well at the price I paid for it. You know, I decided not to just flip it and resell it. But let's see if it was worth the $7. I sure hope so. If it's not, then it's gotta be a pretty bad set. And here we have the little side build. You build this first. Actually, this is the first thing to come out of the set, and it's this little Batman Jetpack thing, and it doesn't really stand up on its own, so there's a little bit of a disappointment right off the bat. I would have loved to see a clear stand included just so you could pose it like that. You know, it just would have been a nice thing to see here. But, that being said, you know, if you exclude that, it's a pretty decent looking thing. You could also do this and it basically stands, but that just looks weird. Or you could remove these flames entirely and just leave the studs there, and with that done, it stands up, you know, just as well. But the actual jetpack just attaches with 2 studs to the back of Batman, and, you know, it looks alright. I like the sticker detail on there. You can angle the wings in and out if you want to get some different looks there. You could use this as like a drone if you wanted to. It works kind of well. But, I mean, it's got a decent shape to it. These can be angled in and out, and they're on ball joints, so you can move them in and out too. I like the sticker on the back with the Batman logo. And you have 2 stud shooters, which, you know, just shoot studs. And, I mean, yeah, that's really all it is. It does make use of these 2 flame pieces, which you actually, like, build this in the first bag, and you don't attach these flames until, like, the very last one when you build the Firestorm minifigure, which is just a little bit odd, but for what this is a little Batman jetpack, I think this is pretty neat, and it's not as specialized as the, like, bat wing piece that's a straight up bracket that goes over his neck, but I think that this is kind of neat and a little bit more interesting to see here. And the mech itself is a mech. This doesn't really look too particularly like any specific iteration of the Lex Luthor Mech, but it kind of gets that whole power armor vibe going. We did see a previous Lex Luthor Mech set back in the first year of LEGO Superheroes in 2012, which was a pretty popular set because it did contain both Wonder Woman and Superman for the first time, as well as Lex Luthor. And, you know, since then, we haven't really gotten a full-size Lex Luthor Mech. And that one did not include a power armor version of the minifigure. It was just Lex in a suit. But, you know, I think that mech was a $20 set. This one is a $40 set. I think that one was just a little bit more visually interesting than the last one. And I don't know, that one, the design just spoke to me a little bit more than this one here. But that being said, this one does come off in person a little bit better than it does on the box. I don't know. As far as articulation goes, this is pretty well covered. The legs, you know, you can move them front and back. You can move the feet around so that you can always flatten them. But you can move them back about that far, you know, without being unable to get the feet to flatten on the ground. But you can kind of get it into a walking pose like that, where you're kind of like balancing on the back foot. And that looks pretty good as far as articulation goes. Not too much more you could ask for from the legs. The details you see here are all stickers. There's no prints here on the actual model itself, aside from this, which is a minifigure accessory we'll look at later. But this can be plugged right in here. It's probably some sort of power source or something. I don't know if that's actually significant, but each of the sets from this wave, there were 3, came with one, and you could presumably attach one there, and the third one here if you had all 3 sets. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. Yeah, I'm going to need some DC experts to explain that to me in the comments. But you also have these purple things, I believe. They came in some X-Night sets in this color as well. The cockpit is, you know, it is what it is. He's got some levers here on the sides, as well as a 2x2 area to just sit on. There's some little sideways building involved there. But, you know, he sits in there pretty decently. You could mess around with the levers and try and get them into his hands and all that. But, you know, for what it is, it works alright. Again, there's a sticker down there, and there's no, like, twisting articulation at the hips, which is a little bit of a downgrade from the previous one. I believe the previous one had, like, a waist articulation there. But, yeah, I mean, it looks alright. With the minifigure out of there, it looks kind of bland. And there's no real detailing for the seat. The seat is just 4 studs. But, you know, as far as that goes, it's just that. Around the back, there's really nothing at all. There are some boosters here, down at the very bottom. And you also have these boosters up here, which, you know, are on ball joints. You can articulate them any which way. But back here is super plain, because right down here, you can attach the little Superman prison from the Lobo set from this wave. You can attach that back there, and, you know, it shows that on the box and on the instructions, just right there, just like that. And it looks kind of weird, but you can do it. And adds a little bit of functionality. The arms, you know, are just arms. They can move up and down. They can move at the wrists. I like this little sticker here, and the hands, you know, can articulate decently. They can grab a figure, sort of, you know, just like that. And we have a nice big weapon in the other hand. It looks kind of striking, and I just like the appearance of it. So, you know, that's kind of cool. And, you know, you can just pull that out. It's just attached into the Technic axle. And it's just this weird axe thing. Stickers on these disc pieces, you know, those are kind of cool-ish. But the whole weapon here is just sort of neat, but it's nothing crazy special. And the last little remaining feature is that this ejects and becomes an escape pod, and then the rest of the mech just looks like garbage. And this also looks like garbage, but, you know, you can definitely fly it this way, because this way makes more sense, because you always lie on your back and face upwards when you're flying, especially, you know, opening it like that makes a whole lot of sense. I guess you could see that it has a propulsion at the bottom, but even then, it's just weird. And, yeah, I don't know, this is a weird shape for an escape pod. Weird design. Just weird. And, you know, it attaches decently. It's not too hard to remove. But, you know, that just is what it is. And last but not least, at the top of the mech, we have this 6-stud shooter, which, you know, is on a ball joint. And you can move it all around. And you just twist the gear at the back to start shooting them off. And that works fine. You know, just as well as any other 6-stud shooter. But I personally don't really like to use them because it's just a nice way to lose some studs. The 2 least interesting figures here by far are Batman and Lex Luthor, because we get these characters a ton, and, you know, this Batman figure is, or was new, I guess, for this year, with a new torso. And the face print, I believe, was carried over from one of the Justice League sets, and, you know, it was used in a couple other Batman sets from 2018. But the Lex Luthor has just a new torso. He does come with a batarang, Batman does. But, yeah, I mean, it was a new torso, but it's nothing crazy different from what we've seen before. Lex's face is the same face he's used since 2012. Even the Batman vs. Superman version of him used that face. And this 2015 cowl, you know, works pretty well. And Lex has some back printing on his torso. And Batman has an alternate facial expression, none for Lex, obviously. But if we remove that, you can see it really doesn't obscure much of his torso. And Wonder Woman and Cheetah here are both exclusive figures to the set. Wonder Woman has appeared as a character before, but this is the first time we're ever seeing Cheetah, which is cool. She does come with a spear, just in plain dark brown, and whatever this power core maybe thing is, and that does feature an exclusive printed 1x1 round brick, which, you know, that's cool, I guess. You know, you do get different colors of these throughout the rest of this wave of sets. And I mean, I guess the brick is the same, but it's exclusive to this wave of sets. And you get just different color powers at the end of them, I guess, in the other sets. But, you know, that's a decent accessory. Interesting, I guess. Wonder Woman gets her typical lasso. She has the same hairpiece. Cheetah's hair is cool, I suppose. But the coolest part about Cheetah, I think, is her tailpiece. And if we remove both of their hairpieces, you can see the alternate facial expressions. Wonder Woman's has been used a couple other times, but Cheetah's is obviously brand new. And I do like the printing around the sides of Wonder Woman's legs. They aren't dual molded, which is a little bit odd, but, you know, it's got some good printing, and the level of opacity on the skin is really good, almost too much, maybe, with the legs. And the last up for figures is Firestorm, who comes on one of these 1x2 rounded plates, which is the first time that they did this with this wave of sets, introducing these Power Blast pieces, and they're just hollow studs and then attached to a 1x2 plate, so you can easily remove the figure and place it onto here. We'll take a look at the rest of the Power Blast things in a second, but I wanted to take a look at the figure first. You know, you do give him, by default, these two, like, fire fists, I guess, almost. But the torso on this guy and the head are both exclusive. No printing on the legs, which, you know, it was the same thing with Cheetah, so I guess, like, there's only one set of printed legs of the 5 figures in the set, which, you know, is kind of whatever. Like, I think for this character in particular, the legs didn't really need to be printed, so this doesn't bother me too much. The torso print is good. It's nice and comically simple, which is, you know, appropriate, and does have the little strap device thing, which I forget what they call that, but I believe they use that to be able to get the 2 personalities into one person, or whatever, or to help stabilize the Firestorm form. But the headpiece is the Ghost Rider head, which is just a minifigure head with that flame design, like, fused to it, so he doesn't have an alternate facial expression, but the one that he does have looks, you know, good, and this does appear to be based on the Jefferson Jackson version of the character. And in addition to these little fire fist pieces, they give you one of these little splat things, as well as you'd have the smaller splat, which you can just swap with that one. And there's also 2 of these like swirly bar pieces. There's a second one here, so, you know, you can remove them like so and replace them however you see fit. So you could just give them multiple shields, or you could, if you wanted to, have given them multiple bars, and then you are supposed to attach this just to there, like so, and that would be your Firestorm. It's just a shame that, you know, they don't include a stand so you can pose him in flight. That being said, taking advantage of the mech's posability and the clips placed that are meant for those power core things, probably, you can create more interesting dynamic displays like this, like having Firestorm, you know, flying past the front, shooting, it looks towards, I mean, I guess we could alter what he's aiming at, so he could be aiming maybe down at the ground at Cheetah. But yeah, you can do stuff like that, and I kind of just have his hand holding onto one of the jets from Batman's little vehicle, which isn't the sturdiest, as you can see. It also doesn't make the most sense, but, you know, it does look somewhat cool. You know, just doing that. You know, it looks like Batman's trying to get away. And it's not a terrible look. That being said, I don't think this is the best mech Lego's produced. The posability is alright. The, you know, ability to, you know, pose it up like this, it's fine. The escape pod feature's okay. But, you know, the figures really are the draw here. And that's a little bit unfortunate, seeing as I think that this mech set is a little bit overpriced to begin with. I don't know, I think that it shouldn't be more than $30. This doesn't feel that much bigger than the Condiment King set, and even then it feels a whole lot less detailed. Yeah, it has more minifigures, but that's really the only thing it has going for it. That being said, 5 minifigures is a really good amount for a $40 set, especially when 4 of them are exclusive. But yeah, that's really all I have as far as thoughts on this set. You know, it's not bad. It's by no means a standout at all, I don't think. And I don't think it's better than the original Lex Mech set. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. I wouldn't recommend it for 40. Would maybe recommend it for 30. 25 I think is a good price. And, 7 is a no-brainer. So I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys all next time. Bye everyone.